Hey, have you ever met a person who seems absolutely perfect from the very first minute? They smile, they give compliments, and you feel like you've found a kindred spirit. Weeks and months go by, and something starts to feel off. There's nothing specific you can point to, but that inner voice is whispering.
Something isn't right here.
You're not alone. In a modern world filled with so much pretense, being able to recognize a person's true nature is a real superpower. And today, I want to share 7 signs that will help you see what's hidden behind that perfect mask. Think about how you react when someone starts to gossip. Innocent chatter about the weather or the latest TV show is one thing. But what if a person constantly talks to you about the flaws of others, putting them down behind their backs? That's the first and most obvious sign. I once worked with a colleague who was the life of the party. She was always the first to offer help. She brought baked goods to the office, but as soon as an employee walked away, she would start to venomously badmouth them. Her words were like arrows, and at some point, I realized that if she spoke about them that way, she was probably doing the same thing to me. You know those people for whom nothing ever goes right? It's raining. They're a victim of the weather. A project fails. They're a victim of circumstances. But the real toxicity test begins when you try to point out their mistake. Instead of taking responsibility, they instantly turn into martyrs. How could you think that about me? They'll say, and suddenly you feel guilty for even daring to call them out. Remember, a person who is never at fault never learns. Imagine you're sharing something truly important and painful, and the other person just stays silent. Or worse, they make an inappropriate joke. That icy indifference is not just a lack of tact, it's a lack of empathy. I had a friend I told about the loss of a loved one. He just sat there looking at his phone, then changed the subject by asking what I was having for lunch. In that moment, I realized that for him, my feelings were just noise that was getting in the way of his own thoughts. Want to quickly figure out who you're dealing with? Pay attention to how a person reacts to failure. If they constantly blame everyone and everything but themselves, that's a red flag. They are masters of shifting blame. If they're late, it's not the alarm clock's fault, it's the traffic. If a project fails, it's not because they underperformed, but because someone else provided incorrect data. It's too painful for such a person to admit their own fault, so they are always looking for a scapegoat. Think back to how many times you've politely said no, and a person just didn't seem to hear you. For them, personal boundaries are just scenery that can be easily bypassed. They might call you at 3 in the morning because they're bored, or show up at your house without notice because they were just passing by. This isn't carelessness. It's a deep disrespect for your personal space, time, and life. Some people act as if the world owes them something. They expect to be given a spot in line because they are special, or for you to do their work for them because you're better at it. This isn't self-confidence, it's pure arrogance. I once worked with a colleague who genuinely believed he deserved a raise just because he was the smartest in the department, even though he didn't put in the effort. He was so confident in his superiority that he couldn't understand why others didn't share his view. And finally, the most dangerous sign. A toxic person doesn't just show 1 or 2 of these signs, they masterfully combine them all. They can use the victim card to make you feel guilty, and then immediately switch to gossip to isolate you. These aren't just bad habits, they are a deliberate tactic to gain control over you. This is the hardest hook to escape. Recognizing these signs is your first and most important step to protecting yourself. You cannot fix these people, so don't even try. Instead, focus on yourself. Learn to trust your gut. If someone feels off, chances are they are. Free yourself from their influence and create a space around you filled with genuine respect and kindness.